do the right things on a day and get a result.
Is there a similar feeling to last season's cup tie 13 months ago?
I suppose so. We have got to one today, and Rangers got to one too. They haven't won the cup for 10 years, which is a long, long time. We've been fortunate to win it over, in my 10 years, about 4 or 5 times. And so today is, there's pressure on both teams. The team that probably can settle quickest, and will probably go on to win the game, I think.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt it's going to be a good game. I'm sure it's going to be fast and furious. All the ones that I've played in and seen before have been of that sort, so I should imagine this is going to be very much the same. Hopefully it can settle down to a game of football so that the supporters can actually enjoy a good game.
What's been your experience so far of the Old Firm fixture?
I think I've played in something like 6 or 7 of these now, and each one has been pretty well much the same. As I said, they're very, very competitive, but the thing is, there's so much at stake for both clubs. Neither side wants to get beat, and if you do get beat, it sort of sticks around, hangs around in the air for a considerable amount of time. So if you can get the result, that's all well and good.
The thoughts of Pat Bonner and Trevor Stephen on this afternoon's big match. Good afternoon to you from Celtic Park. Live coverage coming up of this afternoon's Tennant Scottish Cup quarter-final between Celtic and Rangers. It used to be said, of course, that Celtic and Rangers were never drawn together in the Scottish Cup. Well, the events of the last 2 seasons have certainly disproved that theory. This is the 2nd consecutive year in which the pair meet short of the semi-final stage. It's not perhaps the best afternoon for football. It's a little bit overcast. We've had some rain, we've had some sunny intervals. It's really quite breezy as well. But as you would imagine, all roads in the east end of Glasgow lead to Parkhead. The crowd have been in here really quite early, both sets of fans, and excellent voice. Looking forward to this afternoon's match. The kick-off a little less than 10 minutes away. And if you believe in omens, then Celtic should start favourites, because this is their 38th meeting in the Scottish Cup. Celtic have won 18 and Rangers 11. The last 4 meetings between the two in the Cup have all finished with the same scoreline. Celtic 1, Rangers 0. And in fact, Rangers haven't beaten Celtic here in the Cup since 1905. Whether that's of any significance at all, we'll find out in the course of the afternoon. Well, I'm joined here in our Parkhead studio by 2 players who, of course, have great experience of those meetings, Davy Cooper and Murdo MacLeod. Now, Davy, let me come to you firstly. It's been said that Celtic need to win this match more than Rangers. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I think so. I think they need to take something out this season. But Graham Souness has got a treble to go for as well, Dougie, so he'll be pushing hard to get that. I think it'll be very tight game.
You've both been reminiscing about previous Old Firm games, Murdo. We've had 3-all draws and even 4-all draws in the past. Do you see a lot of goals this afternoon?
I think there's so much at stake. It will be a good game today, and I think there could be a lot of goals. It's ideal conditions for maybe mistakes made at the back. There's a high wind blowing just now, so there could be a lot of goals today.
Let me briefly get a prediction from you then. Davy, who do you fancy?
I don't think there'll be a lot of goals, Dougie. I think Rangers will win it by the odd goal.
Murdo?
Well, I'll go against Davy. I think Celtic's got so much at stake, everything to play for. I think Celtic will win today.
There we are, we've got disagreement already. We're looking forward to the game. Let's join our match commentators. Delighted that we've got Alex McLeish with us in the commentary position, and alongside him, of course, is Jock Brown.
Atmosphere inside the stadium, and the conditions looking difficult and blustery. Alex McLeish, the captain of Aberdeen in Scotland, sitting beside me. I think, Alec, you may have preferred to be in the dressing room rather than up here tonight.
Yes, definitely, Joe. At this stage of the game, at this stage of the proceedings, the lads will be in the dressing room, geeing each other up. There'll be a lot of shouting going on. Certain players like to shout, and a couple of the lads maybe going to a wee shell, but sometimes a little joke in the dressing room cuts the ice a little.
So there's the Celtic support. They're waiting for the arrival of the teams who will come out together. But there is the Celtic lineup for this afternoon's match. Significant changes made there in the sense that at the back, Darius Dubček is playing. Chris Morris, of course, is suspended. Mark McNally is on the bench beside Andy Walker. So it will be interesting to see what tactical formation results from that lineup. It may well be that Dubček will play as a sweeper behind Paul Elliott and Derek White, with Peter Grant joining Paul McStay and Tommy Coyne Paul McStay rather, and John Collins in the middle of the field. We'll soon see when the pattern of the game is established. So the Rangers supporters over to our left principally. 53,000 people, remember, inside this stadium this afternoon. And the Rangers lineup shows 1 or 2 surprises. There's no John Brown, no Nigel Spackman, and no place in the 13 for Ali McCoy. So Stuart Monroe makes his comeback at left back. Scott Nisbet is playing there at number 5. He'll probably play in central defence. And Ian Ferguson comes back to play in midfield, effectively perhaps replacing Nigel Spackman. But the big surprise, though, is the fact that Ali McCoist is not listed, and that suggests, I think, some question of an injury sustained in training. So we've had a couple of looks there at the teams, Alec. Any surprises there for you?
Well, obviously the big talking point is the fact that Ali McCoist isn't in the 13, and it looks as if he probably does have some sort of an injury. The Celtic formation, the fact that Peter Grant's come back into the scene recently, it looks as if he's there to bolster the midfield a bit and thwart the threat of Mark Walters possibly.
So the last tense minutes before this 5th Old Firm meeting of the season. Just passing now. The supporters have been in there in excellent voice for some considerable time now, and they can't wait for these players to take the field. They'll come out together, led by this afternoon's referee, Dr. Andrew Waddle, and the respective sets of supporters exchanging defiant chants as normal in an Old Firm match before the game. So a sea of colour, green and white at one end, red, white and blue at the other, and these supporters not yet perhaps aware of these changes in the Rangers side. Celtic with a full complement of players to choose from. Rangers having these late injury problems, and that may have some bearing, Alec, on the way the game unfolds.
Well, yes, I think the onus is very much on Celtic today because of the fact that by their standards it's not been the best of seasons for them, and they see the Scottish Cup as the lifeline, and for that reason I think they'll come out with all guns blazing.
Well, a word too, Alec, about the playing surface. It looks a little bare in patches, but fairly flat. Will that make any bearing on the outcome?
No, the pitch looks in good condition. It doesn't look as if it's too heavy. There is a bit of drizzle at the moment, but it looks as if it's stood up quite well to the recent bad weather, and looking forward to a good game.
Yes, the rain has just started to fall here at Celtic Park. It had been blustery and overcast until now, but now the supporters being faced by this downfall of rain, with a fair number of them exposed to the elements. But the Rangers fans certainly an excellent heart going into this match, although all the recent history suggests that Rangers have some problems to overcome. It's the 3rd year in a row that Celtic and Rangers have met in the Scottish Cup, and the previous 2 matches have ended 1-0 to Celtic. Dougie Donnelly has told us about the long time which has elapsed since Rangers came here and beat Celtic in a Scottish Cup tie. That was back in 1905. But that roar signals the arrival of the two teams. So led there by the match referee, Dr. Andrew Waddle. On his left is Richard Marzek from Edinburgh, the linesman, and George Kerr from Larbert is the 3rd official. So these players have been waiting a very long time, it seems, for this moment. And there's the welcome from the Rangers supporters. So the Celtic fans also welcoming their favourites out after this excellent run. The last Celtic defeat, incidentally, was in the Old Firm New Year match, when Rangers won by 2-0. Since that time, Celtic are undefeated, and they haven't lost a goal in their last 6 matches. So that is very impressive form to bring to this afternoon's cup tie. And the key man in the middle of the field for Celtic will be John Collins, justifying that £920,000 transfer fee from Hibs in the close season. So the two skippers, Richard Gough on the left, Paul McStay on the right. International teammates, of course. And undoubtedly likely to be 2 of the most influential players on the field. Andrew Waddle is a 40-year-old pathologist. It's his 13th season as a Grade 1 official. He's been on the FIFA list for 3 years. And if this match goes to a replay, he will not be able to officiate, because he will be in the Bernabeu Stadium refereeing Real Madrid against Spartak Moscow. And Joe Miller has enjoyed an excellent spell of form. His transfer from Aberdeen cost £650,000 in 1987. So the waiting is almost over. Sheer bedlam inside the stadium as the referee checks with Paul McStay and makes sure that Pat Bonner removes a stray ball from the goalmouth. That's why there was that hold-up. So the 30th Scottish Cup tie involving Celtic and Rangers starts. And Stuart Munro gets a very good first touch in the game. That pass back, he'll be relieved about that after his long injury layoff. Put under pressure there by Grant. This is Joe Miller. Very much in the mood in recent weeks, Joe Miller. And the free kick goes to Celtic. Mark Walters coming back to put the pressure on Miller. And that's a signal for Paul Elliott and Derek White to make their way from the defensive positions to the penalty area. It's played in by Grant. Hurlock got a touch. Back there to Collins. That was blocked by Trevor Stephen. And there goes Hateley on the run. Well tackled by Grant. Well, it's the kind of frantic opening which we've come to expect in Old Firm matches. Pat Bonner taking some time to calm things down. Maybe one of the calmest players in the field, regardless of what's happening. A long testing ball for Nisbet, who does well for Rangers. Breaks from Rogan to Stephen. There's Gary Stevens. A little bit of a nudge there by Hateley on White.
Well, Jock, it looks quite evident that Celtic are going to play three at the back with two man markers against Johnston and Mark Hateley. And as I said earlier, I felt that Peter Grant might be detailed to pick up Mark Walters, and it looks as if that's the way things have started. But a good opening start by Celtic.
So Elliott going up with Hateley. That will be a fascinating contest this afternoon. McStay playing it back towards Elliott. Johnston trying to come across the big centre half. And this time the foul goes Rangers' way. So Scott Nisbet playing on the right side of Richard Gough in central defence. When John Brown plays, Richard Gough plays on the right with Brown on the left, but his versatility established by his switch to the left. Hateley getting up well. The header from Grant goes straight to Stephen. Here's Hurlock. Now Gary Stevens. Stephen under pressure from White does well. Dubchek's clearance falls straight to Hurlock. He's tackled well by Collins. Here's Tommy Coyne. Trampled there to the ground by Hurlock, and the referee, right up with play, steps in. Looked for a moment as though Tommy Coyne may react angrily to that challenge from Hurlock. Well, the message from referee Waddle is very clear to Hurlock. Clearly believes that challenge was overzealous.
I think Tommy Coyne just stepped across Terry Hurlock's path there, Jock. I don't really think it was that bad a foul.
Well, Terry Hurlock was already getting some special individual treatment from the Celtic supporters. That'll guarantee some more, I think. Here's Joe Miller. Cleared by Munro. Well, these opening minutes crucial, of course. If either side could draw first blood in these opening exchanges, it would make a huge difference to the way the team would settle. Here's Mark Walters. Good layoff from Hateley. Ian Ferguson playing it forward. It's too far ahead of Trevor Stephen. So Dubchek playing in the sweeper role for Celtic, as he has done frequently for Legia Warsaw and for Poland. Nisbet battling hard, winning possession for Munro. Good play there by Miller. Early ball looking for Craney. Gary Stevens takes the ball to safety. He'll use Chris Woods now, but Joe Miller clearly very much in the mood for Celtic. He's had a superb start to the game, as we'll see from this bit of play when he robs Stuart Monroe and angles this in looking for Jerry Craney, who was just out of reach.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ball Joe played down there. It definitely does look in the mood. He's been playing very well in recent weeks, a new lease of life, and he's starting to justify the big money that Celtic paid for him.
Well, Rangers prefer to settle to a passing game if they're given the opportunity. Celtic will realise that, though, and will attempt to keep them off their stride. White's header, there's Stephen. Haitley made a run to the right. That's why it was an easy task for Elliott. Key man for Celtic, Paul Elliott in defence.
Jock, it's also interesting, I think, to note that Hurlock and Ian Ferguson have been picking up John Collins and Paul McStay, with Trevor Stephen being the creative player on the flank.
So Haitley incensed there about being penalised for the foul, challenging Derek White in the air unfairly in the eyes of referee Waddle. The referee handling his first Old Firm match.
Well, one thing's for sure, Jock, you won't get a free header when Mark Haitley's around, that's for sure.
Coyne got a touch, there's Craney! Celtic are ahead! It's Jerry Craney in the 6th minute of the match. It's the perfect start for Celtic. Craney gets his 10th goal of the season, but he owes this to Tommy Coyne, who got that good head flick, allowing Craney to get there ahead of Nisbet and leave Woods without an earthly.
Absolutely brilliant goal by Craney. A brilliant leap by Tommy Coyne under pressure from Richard Goff, but Craney's made a run just off shot there and fired an unstoppable volley into the bottom corner. Brilliant finish.
Well, what a start for Celtic. They certainly have been a more impressive side of the opening exchange, but Jerry Craney, who had a blistering start to the season, then had a little bit of a lull, is now right back to that early season form.
I think Richard will possibly a wee bit disappointed he didn't win that ball in there against Tommy Coyne there.
Well, Tommy Coyne, who has so frequently been the goal-scoring hero for Celtic, has turned goal maker to tremendous effect for Celtic. Paul Elliott doing extremely well. I think he had a call there from Pat Bonner to turn it back. The early ball released long there. Goff under intense pressure from Craney. Pressure which results in a free kick to Rangers. Well, Richard Goff, normally so accomplished in the air, would expect to win that kind of high ball from Tommy Coyne. 9 times out of 10. That was the 10th though, and Rangers now have a major task ahead as the Celtic supporters get into full voice. Nisbet playing it long. Well, the big distinction here, Alex, seems to be the confidence exuding through the Celtic ranks.
Yes, well, if they not get confidence after their recent form, then they'll never have confidence. And that was all I felt that they needed just to turn the corner. And for a string of great results, and the start they've had to the game must have lifted them sky high.
Well, the Celtic supporters really are celebrating. They've had a lot of difficult times this season. It's the 5th match between the clubs, and Celtic are yet to win. Hurlock got there just ahead of Collins. There's Ian Ferguson back to Monroe. A careless clearance though. Richard Goff was in there late on Collins. But there's Joe Miller, allowing Walters to make that tackle. That'll be a goal kick to Rangers. Well, Joe Miller had that very lively opening, although he wasn't directly involved in the goal. He certainly has put an awful lot of pressure on that Rangers defence. Haitley got the finest of touches there. Good play by Nisbet. Stevens to Hurlock. Long high ball looking for Johnston, who is very good in the air, and Haitley went in late there on Dubček, who took a hefty knock. Walters there bringing down McStay, and referee Andrew Waddle is clearly going to be a key man this afternoon. The intensity of the challenge has increased since that opening goal. Goff going in firmly on McStay. Grant picks out McStay. Gary Stevens remaining cool under pressure there with a headed pass back.
Just come back to the goal, Joe. It's something that our management team are always preaching to the young lads, to try and anticipate things. And Jerry Craney anticipated that Tommy Coyne would win the flick on. He took a chance, and it fell right for him.
So the tackle there made by Peter Grant, who has the marking chore on Mark Walters. The Rangers looking to nullify the creative talents of McStay and Collins in midfield by using Harlock and Ferguson in that area. So Rangers for the moment, one man short effectively. It is Trevor Stephen who's down there. That's very much a matter of concern for Rangers. And he appears to be in a lot of distress. Well, there's the main creative threat perhaps from midfield for Rangers. Going to get some treatment now from the physio Phil Borsma.
Yeah, it looked as if Trevor has been given licence to roam about the midfield, and if in fact it's a bad injury, then it's a blow for Rangers. But at this stage, it's Celtic very much on top. The only problem they may have is that they may tend to go back a wee bit now that they've got into the lead, and that'll give Rangers a chance to hit the long balls.
Well, let's see how this injury to Trevor Stephen happened. He's involved in the thick of the action here, trying to make that tackle. Now, that appeared to be a bad twist there as he tried to make that challenge at Joe Miller. Certainly no question of there being anything other than an accident there. And Stephen, not the kind of player to go down there unless there's a very good reason. It looks as though there's been some knee damage. Tommy Craig on the Celtic touchline there, just making sure that everything is as he and Billy McNeil planned before the game. Well, this is ominous, there's no question about that for Rangers, and by the look of that reaction from Trevor Stephen to that test applied by Phil Borsma, really, Alec, it looks as though he may struggle to remain involved in the play.
Yeah, it looks to be in some distress there, and it'll be a major blow if Rangers lose Trevor Stephen. McCoy still ready is out, and they can ill afford to lose Stephen.
Well, there have been instructions ferried down from the director's box from Graham Souness towards Walter Smith. Remember, Graham Souness banned from the dugout, and he has now left the director's box to go down behind the scenes to speak to Walter Smith, who's left the dugout area, to discuss how to overcome this very severe blow to Rangers. The stretcher being brought to the touchline. Brian Scott, the Celtic physio, is also there to lend a hand. That's a very happy aspect of the whole affair. But the stretcher has been brought on, and decisions have been taken, I think, on the Rangers bench. There's going to be a change made. Trevor Stephen is going to take no further part in the match, it would appear, and it appears to be Peter Haustra who is preparing to come on. Paul Elliott there sportingly offering his condolences, I think, to Trevor Stephen, but that represents the second major blow of the match to Rangers. The first, of course, being the goal from Jerry Craney. There's Haustra coming on. So that will involve some reorganisation of the Rangers ranks. It looks as though Mark Walters has crossed to the right side of their midfield. He'll perhaps take on the role which was initially laid out for Trevor Stephen. Here's Johnston. Monroe. The tackle there came from Grant, and Joe Miller has come a long way back to help in defence.
Celtic look very hungry and eager, Joe, and whenever we come to Parkhead, we always say if you can weather the storm, Celtic come all out at you in the first 5 minutes, and you're halfway there.
Well, Celtic certainly are renowned for their blistering starts to matches, but on this occasion they have capitalised with that opening goal. Mark Hateley clashing there with Derek White, the referee quite content that was a fair challenge. Harlott playing it a long way back for Gary Stevens, who gets some advice from Chris Woods. Good play by White. Walters looking for Hateley, that's a fine header. Harlott releasing the ball early. Ian Ferguson doing very well indeed there for Rangers, but so too did Paul Elliott for Celtic. Well, the referee has given the free kick, much to the anguish of Joe Miller and the Celtic supporters. He had got the better of Stuart Monroe there, and the advantage rule could well have paid off for Celtic.
Yeah, I think the referee just blew his whistle a wee bit soon there. Probably thought that Joe was going to be held back, but he shrugged out his marker off.
There's Monroe's header, it goes McStay. Hallstrup, his first involvement in the play. The tackle there came from Dubček. There's Paul Elliott doing well in the air. Hurlock was caught there by Craney. Terry Hurlock is incensed about the challenge made by Craney. Well, that's very unusual indeed, because I think, Alec, most of the professionals believe that Hurlock takes knocks quite as happily as he gives them.
Yeah, it must have been a bad one. Jerry Craney just a wee bit late there, and I think he left his studs in Terry's foot there.
Well, we'll see this again. There was Hurlock forced to go back, and Craney making the kind of tackle you might expect from a striker. But Hurlock certainly did not appreciate it. And another hold up here, because there's treatment required in the middle of the field for Derek White, as the referee is having a word with the near side linesman. Now, I wonder if this may spell trouble for any of the players. Andrew Wardle has spoken to Richard Marzek, the near side linesman. The result of that, quite simply, has been that the referee's had a word with Maurice Johnston about pulling his socks up, I think. That seemed to be the only outcome. Nisbet's free kick. Won by White from Goff. Well, Celtic will undoubtedly be anxious to settle on this lead. A bit of a tactical dilemma, but whether to keep pressing forward looking for another, or to make certain that they can hold on to that goal scored by Jerry Craney.
Mark Walters is taking the Trevor Stephen role. He's probably been told to roam about and try and use the space. He started down the left, but he's moved inside now, Joe.
So Rangers have a throw, and they have to regroup again. It's been a very difficult lead up to this match for Rangers, clearly, with Nigel Spackman being injured in training. He's got a fixture in the middle of the field. That's involved some reorganisation. Stuart Monroe going in bravely there to win possession. There's Walters. Stevens. Misunderstanding with Walters principally. There's Ian Ferguson. Jersey held, it would appear, by Collins, but the referee allows play to continue with Coyne in possession, and with a good shooting chance. That'll be a corner kick. It came off Gary Stevens. This is good play from Coyne. Saw the chance to attack the Rangers defence, found that space, and the ball came off the calf there of Gary Stevens. Celtic maintaining the pressure on the Rangers defence. John Collins will take this. Elliott coming to the far corner of the box to attack the ball. It was a very good defensive header by Johnston. Well headed away by White for the goal kick, but how well Maurice Johnston did there to get up alongside Paul Elliott and prevent a clear header for the big centre half.
Yeah, well, that corner there, I think Rangers have put Gary Stevens against Paul Elliott, which is very unusual. I would have thought that it would have been Richard Goff or Mark Hateley.
Paul Elliott winning another good high ball there for Celtic. Elliott, something of an inspirational figure in the Celtic ranks. Plays with such energy and enthusiasm. The referee gives the throw to Celtic. Anton Rogan will take it. Here's Coyne. Hurlock did well. He was fouled though by Craney, so a free kick goes to Rangers, taken quickly by Stevens. There's Walters. Well cut off by White. The Rangers operating with Stevens, Nisbet, Goff and Monroe in the back four. Across the middle, Walters, Hurlock, Ferguson and Housetrap. And up front, Haitley and Johnston. There's Housetrap. Made some space for himself, but Elliott's recovery was very quick indeed. So that goal from Jerry Craney still separating the teams. The outswinger from Housetrap. Well won by Rogan. Scott Nisbet's header. Here's Walters. He's offside. Ends that Rangers move. But the reorganisation of the Rangers ranks taking a little bit of time with these enforced alterations. But principally, though, the removal early of Trevor Stephen causing a problem. Scott Nisbet is listening to advice from Richard Goff in central defence.
Hustrell will be an important player for Rangers in the sense that he'll have to try and get behind the Celtic back four and get crosses in and good service in for Mark Haitley and Maurice Johnston. He's really at his most effective when he's getting behind defenders and putting good crosses in. Excellent cross of the ball, but whether Celtic give him the room, then we'll have to wait and see.
Well, Peter Grant started the match marking Mark Walters. He's now doing the same chore on Peter Housetrap, while Anton Rogan has been given the task of looking after Walters, who's on the Rangers' right. Johnston's header, there's Haitley. Hurlock to Stevens. There's Jerry Craney. And now Rogan. Showing too much of that to Nisbet, who made a good tackle. Well, the referee was very close to that exchange between Hurlock and Collins. As Celtic break again. Craney taking too long about the pass intended for Miller, allowing Ian Ferguson to step in. Torrid start to the match for Stuart Monroe, coping with a very lively figure of Joe Miller. Fine header again by Elliott, and Miller is in behind Monroe. This is promising for Celtic. Craney and Coyne wait in the middle. Good covering play there by Gary Stevens. Celtic looking so menacing, especially on that right flank.
Good early ball there by Joe Miller, Jock. The Rangers defence coped with it well. But little Joe Miller is causing Celtic, the Rangers defence, a lot of problems.
Haitley's header, there's Housetrap, cross goes Paul Elliott. Very decisive. So he's doing the marking job on Mark Haitley principally, with Derek White on Maurice Johnston. Dub check the spare man at the back, allowing Peter Grant and Anton Rogan to push forward wide in the midfield, where McStay and Collins have the task of looking after the middle of the field. There's going to be a little bit of hold up here. Peter Grant is getting some treatment. I'm sure the referee was quite content to allow that hold up, to let things settle down a little. It hasn't been a quiet moment of the match right from the start. And a free kick given there for that tackle on Housetrap. Peter Grant is a player penalised. So we're past the midway point in the first half now. If you just joined us, Celtic lead by a goal to nil. Headed away there by Coyne. Here's Monroe. Good header by White, but it's straight to Walters. And Joe Miller clearly believed that was deflected by Walters. It should be a goal kick. Referee Waddle disagrees. So corner kick it is to Rangers. Nisbet's gone up with Richard Goff. Haustra with the outswinger. Off the head of Rogan. Not a very good clearance there by Joe Miller, but Harlock's pass intended for Monroe put him under pressure. He left the full back with no option.
Celtic are playing and tackling, Jock, as if it's their last game. They're chasing every ball, hurrying Rangers into mistakes, and the front two are working really hard, especially Tommy Coyne.
That long ball intended to release Jerry Craney through the middle, but good cover provided by Gary Stevens, who came across to support his central defence. Craney the goal scorer in 6 minutes. Stuart Monroe taking a little bit of time to get his touch after a long layoff through injury. Rain still falling steadily here at Celtic Park. The wind appears to have dropped rather. Collins doing well under intense pressure provided by Harlock. McStay finds Rogan. Rogan wants to make for the byline, but Gary Stevens is very quick. Very difficult pass for Collins to control from Rogan. Gately's layoff, there's Walters. Doing some dub check. An awkward one, hanging in the wind there, well judged by Elliott. Paul Elliott, Peter Grant rather, trying to recover there as the offside flag halts Peter Haustra. And Haustra is going to be spoken to for a little bit of dissent as the whistle went there. Peter Grant, though, I think will be relieved. He appeared to stumble as that ball was played across towards Haustra.
I think Haustra was attempting to play the ball after the whistle had gone, and Andrew Ward just reminding him that you've got to go on with the game and leave the ball where it is.
Coyne penalised there for a little bit of use of the elbow as the ball was in the air as he challenged Gary Stevens. John Nisbet with a free kick. White's header collected by Collins. Tackle came from Harlock. Anton Rogan clearly was well aware of his positioning there as he let that ball run for the goal kick. Well, Alec, tactically, is it a question of Celtic looking for a killer second or making certain they give nothing away?
Yeah, I just think the goal has given them such a lift that they're tackling demons and not giving Rangers an inch of space. If anybody's getting space, it's probably in fact Celtic, because Rangers, the onus is on them just to attack that a wee bit more now.
Craney trying to control the ball. That did appear to be handball, but the referee decides it was accidental.
You said earlier, you come here and you try and soak up the hectic start. Celtic always throw everything at you. Rangers failed to do that in the first 10 minutes, and it's cost them.
Goff's header. Turned back by McStay for Rogan. Monroe getting there ahead of Miller. Johnston neatly robbed there by Grant. White trying to find Joe Miller on the far side. Good play defensively though by Stuart Monroe.
Stuart Monroe in past confrontations with what Joe Miller has done very well. Possibly today is just lacking that wee bit match fitness, and maybe that's giving Joe the edge.
Well, you can be sure that Monroe will stick to the task. There's Craney. Miller playing it back. There's Grant playing it in low towards Collins. Ian Ferguson's clearance. Fine ball from Hateley. The layoff releases Walters. Rangers getting men forward into the box in numbers now. Ferguson, Hateley, Haustra and Johnston waiting for this cross. but it's won by Elliott. Coyne trying to find Brogan. It's Hurlock who uses Mark Walters, and Coyne goes back to retrieve his own initial error. Well, Mark Walters now operating on the right flank in the absence of the injured Trevor Stephen, but finding it very difficult to get into the match.
Yeah, although Celtic are on top and made a tremendous start to the game, Rangers have still got individual players who can swing again. People like Mark Walters in particular. And one flash of brilliance for him could turn the game back Rangers' way. But right now, Joe, Celtic are well on top.
An awkward spinning ball there for Goff to cope with. He read the spin well, though. Now Chris Woods is complaining to his teammates about the fact that he didn't have many targets there as he played the ball from hand. Very agitated this afternoon, Chris Woods. Clearly unhappy with his teammates' performance ahead of him. He certainly had no chance at all with Jerry Craney's goal. Walters is the culprit. It's a free kick to Celtic. Good play there by Miller. Helped by Rogan. There's Coyne. Tackle there was made by Stuart Monroe with a very important one at that.
Yeah, it was a brilliant tackle. Stuart Monroe, one thing's for sure, he'll stick to the task.
Hately penalised. Leaning in there as he tried to get his head to the ball. Well, that noise you hear coming from Celtic supporters. Well, after the troubles of the early part of the season, this is an occasion they appear determined to enjoy. That applies also to the players. Clash of heads there, Collins and Hurlock. Collins is penalised. Well, Mark Keaty really had no target available when he got to the ball.
Yeah, they seem to be trying to hit Mark Keatley with a long ball. Maybe just a wee bit too much, and maybe they ought to think about trying to build things up a bit.
But building things up made much more difficult by the absence of Trevor Stephen and Nigel Spackman from the Rangers midfield. Stay to Elliott. And Walters left with no option but to play that back to Chris Woods. Crenny trying to find Miller with a long pass. Gives the ball to Monroe. There's Houstrap. Joe Miller back helping Peter Grant. This is Crenny. Coyne's in the middle. And good positional play there by Richard Goff. Realised exactly what was happening around him.
The Celtic front two working very well as a pair today. That time Richard Goff was equal to him.
Oh, Hately brought down there by Dubček. That's a free kick to Rangers, taken very quickly. Walters to Hately. Hately's not in the middle to take any part in the play if a cross comes in early. Well, held there in the first place by Bonner, then he dropped it. But Celtic survive. Rogan to McStay. White played into the middle. And the ball played through there by Houstra, but that's a moment of some anxiety in the Celtic defence as Mark Walters set up this move, going away from Anton Rogan, whipping the ball across. Bonner elected to try to catch that under pressure from Johnston. The block there by Stevens. Good running by Coyne to collect the throw. Monroe intercepts, runs straight into Grant. Superb tackling by Grant. This is Miller, faced by Houstra. Fine wing play again from the Celtic player. Looking up now to play it across. A chance for Coyne. Well, you can see him there try to steer the ball carefully in under the crossbar. He's frustrated, but it was brilliant play from Joe Miller. Getting away from Houstra, looking up, then playing the ball in firmly. It's beaten away by Woods. There was Coyne on his left foot, but he couldn't keep the ball down.
He just bounced up a wee bit awkwardly for Tommy Coyne there, and he said he just couldn't get over the ball to keep it down.
So let off undoubtedly again for Rangers in defence, and they still haven't found the complete answer to Joe Miller. Collins made the tackle on Walters. There's Paul McStay looking for Craney forward. Beautifully retrieved from Nisbet. Harlock is penalised. Well, there's some very, very tough tackling going on out there. Referee Andrew Waddle is keeping up with play very well indeed, and he certainly had to. But Jerry Craney in the first place appeared to do well here.
Yeah, he won the ball well, but I felt Terry Hurlock won the ball in much the same fashion here. You know, maybe I was wrong, maybe he just clipped his heel there, but every time Terry is near the ball, there's a tremendous roar from the Celtic fans. Just poor Terry can't go near a Celtic player.
Well, he hasn't been in the losing side against Celtic since his signing from Millwall early in the season for £300,000. Certainly is a favourite among the Rangers supporters. So Craney is back on his feet. It's a dub check with the free kick. That's well struck and deflected. 2-0 to Celtic. Darius Dubček takes the credit with the help of a deflection. It appeared to come off Terry Hurlock. Bedlam here at Celtic Park. 37 minutes of the first half gone. 2-0 to Celtic. And here's the effort from Darius Dubček, thundering the ball forward. That appeared to come off Terry Hurlock, and once again Chris Woods had no chance of stopping that.
It was a thumping strike by Dubček. I think Chris Woods probably had it covered, and the deflection, just a wicked deflection, just took it out of the reach of Chris Woods. Another brilliant goal for Celtic, and it's given him a little breather, and just before half-time, fantastic time to score.
It's only the second goal of the season for Darius Dubček. Well, what a crucial one it could turn out to be. There's Houstra looping the ball across. Rogan lets it run for the throw. Well, when Darius Dubček lined up to try that effort from in excess of 30 yards, it did look ambitious, but he has tremendous power and accuracy in both feet, particularly the left, and that wicked deflection did the rest. Down goes Coyne. Foul by Walters, and Walters is going to be booked. Well, right now things going Celtic's way. Nothing going right for Rangers. They lost key men through injury before the match. John Brown, Nigel Spackman, Ali McCoist also not in the squad. And then Trevor Steven injured in the opening quarter of an hour. They're 2 goals behind, and there's a yellow card for Mark Walters. Well, there's the effect of all this activity on the Celtic supporters. There was Coyne. Well, it was a trip there by Walters. I don't think he has much complaint about the referee's decision. Goff remaining calm. There was a bit of pushing going on. Jerry Craney, the culprit. A long way back now for Rangers, Alec.
Well, it looks impossible task now for them. I thought when Celtic went 1-up, it looked difficult enough. Celtic still in control of the game, but Having got that second goal, it's given them a huge bit of breathing space.
There's Monroe. And the confidence surging through the Celtic ranks. Turned back there by Nisbet. Nisbet being waved forward there by Chris Woods. That's towards Hateley. Elliott doing well again, so too did Rogan. That was a clear thought by Paul McStay into Teddy Hurlock. With no real prospect of playing the ball. There's Mark Walters over the free kick, playing it wide for Johnston. Walters again. Excellent defensive play there by Celtic. Here's Coyne on the break. He has Craney to his right, McStay supporting, Miller also coming from the right. There's Craney. And another sweeping move from Celtic, which opened up the Rangers' defence. That could so easily have been the third. Brilliant play from Coyne, then from Craney. And what a striking partnership they are turning out to be.
Well, certainly in this confidence, the confidence the Celtic team are showing, they look unstoppable.
Collins took a knock there from Hateley. Still on the ground as play continues with Rogan battling with Stevens. Walters helping Stevens. Tackle came from Rogan. Chased there for Coyne, but Nisbet is there well ahead of the Celtic striker. John Collins is only now back on his feet in the centre circle, having been winded there, and that challenge from Hateley. Hateley trying to set it up for Hurlock. Brilliant play from Paul McStay. He's unhappy about the fact the free kick's been given. Ferguson and Hurlock both taken on by Paul McStay. Well, that was classic close control from Paul McStay, the Celtic captain. Totally untroubled by the attentions here of both Hurlock and Ferguson, two very tough customers. Just look at that for sleight of foot.
Yeah, a beautiful piece of skill from Paul McStay there. But, Mr. Waddle probably, because of the tension of the game, is anxious not to let things get out of hand, and as a result, he's a wee bit sharp with his whistle on a couple of occasions.
There's Peter Grant and Joe Miller. Boris Johnston back helping in defence. Hateley couldn't control it. Well, one feature also of the game, Alec, is the fact that Boris Johnston really has played very little part in the proceedings so far.
Yeah, well, most of the balls that Rangers have played are from back to front to the head of Mark Hateley, and Johnston's been closely shadowed by his markers and he's not really had a look in. He's now starting to go a wee bit deeper to try and get the ball.
And the accuracy which Rangers normally expect from Mark Hateley not really being supplied thanks to the superb play in the air of Polterate.
If Rangers are going to get any joy, they need to have people like Mo Johnston, Mark Hateley in the box. They need good delivery from players like Hustra and Walters.
Stevens now with the throw. Hurlock and Walters keeping Collins at bay illegally. The free kick to Celtic. Well, it has been as impressive a first half performance from Celtic as I've seen in a very long time, and they've chosen the perfect occasion to produce this kind of form.
Attacking always looks so much worse when you're a spectator, Jock. It's much worse when you're, in fact, you're down there.
So Rangers survive that dub-check free kick. Headed by Elliott. We're in the final minute now of the first half, except for the fact there's liable to be rather a lot of injury time in view of the time taken to treat Trevor Steven before his premature departure from the proceedings. Referee Waddle checking his watch at the moment, but if he stopped it for the entire period Trevor Stephen was on the ground, then we could have 2 or 3 minutes left yet. And I have the distinct feeling that Celtic would much rather not hear a half-time whistle.
Yeah, they're on a roll, and I'm sure they just love the match. They keep going until the referee blows for 90 minutes. But they've been very, very impressive this half.
Nice, brilliant play by Haitley and by Walters. Harlock scooping it forward. There's Dubček. Coyne bringing it down superbly. Craney tackled firmly by Harlock. Header by Elliott. Harlock across to Stuart Monroe. Interception by Grant. Here's Paul McStay. Chance for a late flourish perhaps in the first half from Celtic. Disappointed with his pass. Well, we always expect a blistering start from Celtic, but really have maintained that pace throughout the bulk of this first half. And that's what's made life so difficult for Rangers. Goff's header. Helped on by Monroe for Johnston. Across goes Elliott. Well, there's only going to be one winner of that particular joust.
Paul Elliott has won absolutely everything today, in the air and on the ground, and he's such an inspiration for the Celtic team.
Billy McNeil in the director's box there. Clearly a very happy man at this stage in the match. Haitley using his strength. Body check there from Peter Grant. Grant reacting angrily. And the referee, I think, wants to have some words with Peter Grant. Haitley showing his determination. A newcomer this season to the intense nature of Ilford matches, but he certainly has shown his determination to be on the winning side. Late chance in the first half for Rangers. Comes across from Walters. There's Johnston. Swept away by Derek White. He had to be careful with that clearance. Could so easily have sliced that into his own net. So a corner kick for Rangers. Well into injury time now in the first half. We've had fully 2 minutes plus. And that reflects the time taken for Trevor Stephen's injury. There's Houstra's corner. It was missed there by Bonner. Goal kick's been given. Well, let off without question for Pat Bonner and for Celtic, and Maurice Johnston is in trouble here for his vehement complaint to the referee about the fact that a corner kick wasn't given. Yellow card now for Johnston. Well, this corner kick had Bonner committed. He flapped rather at the ball. There was Paul Elliott, and I think Johnston thought that was dangerous play by Elliott, lifting his boot too high.
Yeah, I felt the Rangers player surrounded the referee, indicating that Elliott had been too high with his boot, and Mo obviously protested just that wee bit too long and too loud.
So referee Andrew Waddle brings a sensational first half to an end, having played 3.5 minutes of time added on. There's the applause from the Celtic supporters with a half-time scoreline of Celtic 2, Rangers 0. The first goal scorer was Jerry Craney in 6 minutes, going on to a head flick from Tommy Coyne to drill the ball beyond Chris Woods. And then in 37 minutes, there was another magnificent goal with a bit of luck this time. Darius Dubček with a 30-yard free kick deflected by Harlock beyond goalkeeper Chris Woods. So off goes Andrew Waddle, the referee, and there seemed to be some tension there in the tunnel area. But what a great first half from Celtic.
Yeah, Celtic were absolutely brilliant in the first half. Joe Miller, particularly Tommy Coyne, Jerry Craney. 2 great goals. Dubček, but a little bit fortunate with the fact that the fans enjoying themselves.
So Celtic undoubtedly taking the honours in that incredible first half. With that, I'll hand you back to Dougie Donnelly with Davy Cooper and Murdo McLeod.
Thank you, Jock. Yes, what a cup tie it has been. We were talking before the game, Davy and Murdo, about which team wanted to win it more. And on the evidence of the first half, it seems to be Celtic, Murdo.
Yeah, I think they showed in the first 5 minutes how much they wanted to win the game. They won every 50-50 tackle. They were first to the ball. They put the Rangers defence under tremendous pressure. I said to Dave after 2 or 3 minutes, this is going to be Celtic's game, and it's turning out that way.
David, Rangers looking really rattled by the Celtic approach.
Yeah, Celtic came out and they looked the better side right for the word going. It was no surprise when they went into the lead. I've never seen the Rangers back four been so exposed at times. The front three for Celtic have been marvellous, and they really deserve to be ahead.
Yeah, it's right through the Celtic team, Murdo, but particularly in midfield, I think, where Celtic seem to be winning everything that matters.
Yeah, I think Celtic are going and winning the ball early and playing the passes forward early. The Rangers midfield just now are tending to try and stop the ball and look for passes, and it's not on just now. The game's been played at such a fast pace, and it's suiting the Celtic team just now because they're working harder.
Well, let's take a look back at some of the incidents in that first half then, and Celtic, as we said, made their intentions clear very early on, and Joe Miller in particular looked very much in the mood today. Here's this early run by Joe Miller, which already had the Rangers defence under pressure. Davy, as a winger yourself, you've obviously got to admire the danger that Joe Miller carries.
Yeah, he's been playing marvellous today. He's given Stuart Monroe a real hard time. He's getting to the byline 2 or 3 times and getting the ball across, and it's a surprise there's not more goals come off him.
It's a difficult game, Murdo, for Stuart Monroe to come back into, really, isn't it? Because he must be lacking maybe a little bit of match fitness.
Yeah, I think Stuart's just had a couple of reserve games since then, since his injury, but to come back against Joe Miller, who's probably playing his best game of the season for Celtic. Joe's played a fortnight ago at Easter Road and he was looking very sharp, and again today he's looking tremendous.
The goal came after just 6 minutes, marvellous start obviously for Celtic, and again the goal came through a high ball which Richard Gough looked to be winning, Davy, but in fact Tommy Coyne got there ahead of it.
Yes, I think Scott Nisbet actually was waiting for Richard Gough winning the ball, and he let Jerry Craney just get in front of him, but it was a superb finish, a great finish.
Would you maybe criticise Scott Nisbet, Murdo? It seemed to perhaps be expecting Gough to win the ball.
Yeah, I think with Richard's been so good in the air, I think Scott's anticipated Richard's going to win it. But Richards came, the Craney's got very well, Coyne's got very well. Again, Scott Nisbet's wrong side of Jerry Craney, a great finish.
Here it is again. Very well won by Tommy Coyne. As we've been saying, Coyne and Craney up front particularly, David, they've linked well, they've worked hard, and Craney takes it very well, doesn't he?
Yeah, they've been fantastic for Celtic. The front three have actually put them ahead at the moment by the 2 goals. They've been superb today.
Another disappointment for Rangers obviously would be the injury to Trevor Stephen, who's such an important player for them, Murdo, and that really wasn't obviously what Rangers were looking for.
Yes, he's a player that can maybe make Rangers play, get the ball down, make good passes. But to get the injury so early on in the game, it's going to be a problem. Now Rangers have had to go with the 2 wingers. In a game like this today, it's maybe not a game for having 2 wingers. Maybe an extra man in midfield would be better.
Well, we're going to see this goal yet again for the Celtic fans watching particularly. Scott Nisbet very nearly gets the tackle in, but it's drilled away well by Jerry Craney. Peter Hoekstra coming on for Rangers, Davy, who's obviously a skillful player, but maybe this is not this kind of game.
Yeah, it's going to be hard now for the wide men. 2-0 down. They're going to look for a spark from someone. Mark Walters, I think, is the man they should try and get into the game. He's the guy that can get to the byline and get something across, or maybe Mark Hateley. But it's an uphill struggle for them now.
Yeah. If we take a look at the circumstances of Stephen's injury, in fact, it seemed almost to be self-inflicted, Murdo. I think he just seemed to catch his foot on the turf as he went down. There really wasn't very much contact, was there?
He's slid in here to make the tackle here, and he's caught his knee in the ground, his left knee in the ground, and stretched with his right leg. So I don't really know what the injury is, but it looks quite a serious one.
Yes, he seemed to be in a lot of pain. It might knee ligaments or something like that, Davy.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's nothing as bad as that, but he certainly took a bad one there.
Paddy Bonner, you said before the game, Murdo, was obviously an important man. He's gone something like, 6 hours or something without losing a goal in the Cup. Today, he's had a couple of little shaky moments, though, when he has been under pressure, hasn't he?
Yeah, there was a couple of cross balls. Packies came out and not get punched away as far as he would like to have. This one here. Good cross in. Again, he caught it, and I think he's bumped against his own player, though. He's a wee bit unfortunate. But again, he's not been put under too much pressure today, so he's got to be concentrate. Yeah, he's hit somebody there.
Difficult day for goalkeepers, of course, Davey, isn't it, with that swirling wind as well?
Yeah, the wind makes it hard for anybody playing today. But this is what Rangers have got to do now, try and get Mark Walters to the byline. And I see that as their only chance of getting back into it.
They've looked after the aerial threat of Mark Hateley very well, Celtic.
Yes, Paul Elliott's been fantastic in the air. He hasn't lost the ball all day. I think he's been a real reason why they're ahead at the moment. Apart from the three strikers, they've been the best men in the park.
Tommy Coyne had a second chance very near the end of the half. Again, it came from a run on the right wing, Murdo, and Tommy Coyne just hooked this one over the bar in the end.
Yeah, again a great run by Joe Miller here, right into the box. Well saved by Chris Woods. I think the ball just bounced too high for Tommy. A wee bit unfortunate. But again, they've always been there in the right positions, the Celtic strikers.
Maybe a little disappointment for Rangers too, David. There's not very much coming from midfield. They're definitely losing the battle in that area, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Paul McStay and John Collins have played very well. They're just not letting Rangers back into the game at the moment, and they're finding it very difficult. First 15 minutes, they'll have to try and get something back if they're going to have any chance at all.
Yes, the opening stages of the second half shaping up as being very important, particularly after that second goal, of course, scored by Celtic with just something like 8 minutes left in the first half. And you've got to feel sorry for Terry Hurlock, Davey, haven't you?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. Chris Woods as well. The ball was a good shot, but Chris Woods would have got that comfortably. Terry Hurlock just put his right foot up to try and block it, and it skimmed off his boot and over his head into the net. Nothing he could do about that.
In that defensive position, Murdo, you're really on a loser, aren't you? Because you obviously, the instinct is to try to block the ball, and there's no way of knowing that your keeper's got it covered, really, is there?
When you're 18 yards out and you stick your leg up, you think hopefully you'll just knock the ball away. The ball's been travelling so quickly, just deflected off him, and Chris has got no chance at all.
It is again.
Great strike though. That's a good hit.
He does strike it very well, Darius Dufty. He hasn't scored many goals for Celtic. It was always a good free kick, but I think it's... Well, we might not mark it then as an own goal, but certainly Terry Hurlock...
he doesn't want it for an own goal.
I'm sure
He'll claim it anyway, yeah.
So 2-0 to Celtic, and the crowd behind us, we're at the Rangers end of Park Gate. They've been in great voice through half-time. They're determined to try and lift the players as they sit in the dressing room. No doubt getting a very hard talking to by Graham Souness and Walter Smith. Can you see a way back for Rangers, Davy?
I think it'll be very hard now. I think Celtic look to have the game in their grip, and I don't think they'll lose it now, no.
Would you agree, Murdo?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way back. I think the attitude of Celtic players today has been first class. I think they'll start the second half the same, and it'll take them through to the end of the match.
The first 15 minutes important, though, I presume.
Yeah, obviously, I think Graham Souness will be telling his players to try and get a goal early on this half. If they get a goal early on, it could panic a few of the Celtic players, put them under pressure. But I think, again, Celtic back four's played so well. It doesn't look as though Rangers are going to score today.
Well, there we are. That's the feelings of Davy and Murdo down here in our studio, and whatever, we're in for another engrossing 45 minutes of cup football, that's for sure. Celtic, they're leading 2-0. Let's go back out and join our commentary team, Alex McLeish and Jock Brown.
Thank you, Dougie. Yes, a tremendous atmosphere inside this stadium. These Celtic supporters really savouring every moment of this occasion, and they will be mindful too of the fact that Celtic defensively are on a magnificent run. They've lost only one goal in the last 9 matches. I think that was scored, in fact, by Davy Cooper, if he recalls that. He may be able to confirm he scored for Motherwell in a 1-1 draw. But apart from that, they have gone 6 games since then without dropping a goal. And Pat Bonner has now gone 791 minutes of cup football since he last lost a Scottish Cup goal. And that was scored way back last season by Craig Brewster of Forfar in a third-round tie. So when you add all that together, Alec, it looks as though Rangers really have a monumental task.
Yeah, well, you look at the game and you say, can Rangers change things to get back into the game? What can they do? But it just seems that I don't think that they can do anything, because Celtic are just so much on top of their game. Their confidence is sky high, and I just don't see any way past Celtic now.
Now, what impact do you think, Alec, could the interval have on this? We just said before half-time that Celtic really wouldn't want the game to stop. Things are going so much their way. You've played many times in teams dominating a first half. Is there a possibility that the impetus goes during this 10-minute interval?
Well, Celtic may come out and start knocking the ball about, maybe want to keep the ball, and that might be dangerous because it's alien to the way that Celtic play. But I'm sure that Billy McNeil will drum that into his troops, and Celtic will come out just as determined as they were in the first half. It looks as if it's going to be their day.
Well, the start of this second half really is going to be fascinating. That reflects the rainfall here in Celtic Park, a very natty umbrella there on the terracing. And these Celtic supporters, having had so much misery to endure in the first half of the season, now enjoying as good a spell as Celtic have had for many a long day now, having gone 10 games before today undefeated. The last defeat on January 2 against Rangers by 2-0. And since then things have started to go right, and that front three, Alec, of Miller, Coyne and Crenny really appear to be now in devastating form.
Yeah, well, Crenny's had a little barren spell midway during the season there when he looked as if he was going to be a new wonder boy for Celtic. But he's got over that spell and he's come back the last couple of games and played very well. And getting on the score sheet today will have done his confidence no harm at all.
We'll just listen to the reception here for the Celtic players. They're going, in fact, to the Rangers' end, Celtic players, for this second half. And a quick check around the two sets of players suggests no further changes having been made. Rangers still have Tom Cowan available to come on as a replacement, and Celtic have Mark McNally and Andy Walker, should they be required. Well, there's the man who scored that second goal for Celtic. We'll give that to him because it certainly was on target, although it may well have been saved by Chris Wood before Terry Harlock's intervention. So the second half about to start, and these opening 10 minutes or so really are liable to be crucial. Rangers looking for some return for effort in that period. Celtic will be determined to hold the lead. A third goal for them, of course, in that stage would surely make it a task which was beyond Rangers. So Haitley will be a key man. Here's Walters, still on the right. A stumble there, giving possession to Celtic, and that'll be a throw. This will be taken by Anton Rogan.
Jock, you mentioned the Celtic front three, and I think it would be fair to mention Tommy Coyne, because he must be the most improved player in the Premier League. He's looking like a Celtic player, and he's justifying the money that Billy's paid for him.
Still officially on the transfer list. He hasn't been removed as yet, or opened the transfer list at any rate. But every passing week, boosting any transfer fee substantially, I'm sure Celtic now would be very loath to do without his services. Designated by White.
Well, I think if he was going, he would be commanding a hefty fee.
So here's Gary Stevens. Put under pressure by Coyne. Left Crenny for his pass through the middle on his own. At the moment, Coyne going to the left with Miller on the right. There are some indications there that Celtic are tying things up a little. There's Graham Souness looking extremely pensive, as you would expect, beside John Gregg. David Murray, the chairman, behind. But there are indications, it would appear, Alec, that Celtic are just tying things up a little for this opening spell.
Well, they've come out and they're still chasing the game. They're still chasing the Rangers players, putting them under pressure, just the way they did in the first half. Rangers will be aware that they'll have to step things up a bit if they're going to get back in the game. So something has to happen for them soon.
Very sure-footed play once again from Paul Elliott, who's had a magnificent match in the heart of that Celtic defence.
It's really not been a Celtic failure, Joe.
Well, Crenny a failure on that occasion. A little nudge picked up by referee Waddle, giving the free kick to Rangers.
Opened my mouth at the wrong time there.
In the middle of the field, loose ball collected by Ian Ferguson. It's back with Goff. Now Monroe. Throw taken quickly by Hauser. There was a deflection giving Rangers that throw. Well, a correction made by referee Waddle. He now thinks it was a Celtic throw. The ball retrieved there by Peter Haustra for Paul Bixley. Coyne trying to help that on for Craney. Elliott again doing well against Hateley. These two players, of course, Elliott and Hateley, have sampled Italian First Division football. Hateley with AC Milan, Elliott with Pisa. There's Goff. Now Monroe. Free kick against Joe Miller, but his tackle on Haustra. So the big men go into the box for Rangers. Nisbet and Goff joining Hateley. It's a very potent threat inside the area. And in by Haustra. Won well by Anton Rogan to cross from Ferguson to Walters. Nisbet going for that. Elliott's the winner again inside the penalty box. Pass from Collins looking for Coyne. Stevens used his pace to get there first. This is Walters. And Pat Bonner making an excellent catch. Haustra was coming in looking for an error. Well, Rangers for the moment pinning Celtic into their own half. Beautifully flighted cross this by Walters. Required good handling and Bonner supplied it.
Good spell for Rangers. Celtic's only danger is if they become complacent.
It's good play by McStay. The layoff came from Craney. There's Grant. Well, that was intended for Tommy Coyne, who'd come off the left flank to join Craney through the middle. Grant didn't realise that. Tommy Craig out of the dugout with some instructions from the Celtic players. It's well taken down by Craney. Needs some help. He did well to win the corner though. Craney, I think, is quite happy about that. That was a major ambition of his to score in an Old Firm match, and he succeeded after only 6 minutes this afternoon with the opening goal. So John Collins will take this corner. Derek White has gone into the near post area. Paul Elliott at the far post, and the catch made comfortably by Woods. Hateley is onside. That's for Haustra. Great chance here for Rangers. Well, he appeared to touch the ball with his right foot before he let fly with the left. That's what made the shot look so bad. But Hateley certainly set up an excellent opportunity here for Rangers. So badly sliced wide of the target by Haustra. That could have made a big difference.
Yeah, well, look as if the Celtic defence tried to play Mark Gately offside there from Chris Wood's kick out. They just get their timing a wee bit wrong, and they have to be careful that they don't fall into that sort of trap.
Goff and Nisbet going for the same ball. Here's Paul McStay. Forward it goes towards Craney. The tackle came from Goff. There's McStay. Now Coyne. Playing the ball in early, too high for Miller. And then roll towards Walters, has crossed over to the left for the moment. Here's Nisbet. Playing that through the gap for Johnston. It was held there by Grant. Grant will be in trouble. Referee Waddle has given a free kick, but now there's serious trouble here for Peter Grant. The interpretation here of referee Waddle will be crucial. A smile on the face of the referee. Well, it looked as though Johnston may be getting away from Grant. Now, does the referee consider that to have been a professional foul? Yellow card it is. Relief for Grant. Well, there's Scott Nisbet playing it through the gap. Now, White thought he could reach that. Then he was in trouble. There was the holding job by Grant. The referee clearly believed that Grant wasn't the last defender.
Yeah, I think he still had the last defender to get by, Joe, but
now Ian Ferguson lining up this free kick. He has tremendous power in his right boot. Charged down by Grant, and Grant is now in very serious trouble. He's being ordered off. Peter Grant is ordered off for charging the free kick too early. Paul McStay protesting vehemently to the referee. But it's Peter Grant who will take no further part in the match. His second ordering off of the season. He was ordered off against Hibs on the 5th of January. We'll see how this happened. It came from the free kick, which Ian Ferguson went to take. There's Grant, number 4, on the edge of the wall. He's already off his mark. And there is the breach of the rules, which has resulted in the early departure for Grant. And that free kick deflected for a corner kick. Well, referee Waddle clearly was in something of a dilemma. It would appear about the first offence, and then took that opportunity to order Grant from the field. Headed away there by Coyne. Now that certainly gives Rangers a bit of a lift. They're now against 10 men, but Celtic are harbouring a great sense of injustice about that ordering off. Certainly no question that the free kick was entitled to be retaken, but controversy without question. Rangers now keeping the pressure on. Here's Richard Gough. Over to the far post it goes. Walters gets up well. This is Craney playing the long ball forward. Well, a controversial moment, Alec. The man charging the free kick.
Yeah, it seems a shame he should be ordered off for that offence. I think it was just a matter of being a bit too anxious to get things going again.
Up goes Elliott. Pushing by Hateley. Well, this involves some rethinking among the Celtic players about how to cope with this position. And Tommy Craig is already offering instructions from the bench. He's waved Jerry Craney across, pushing Joe Miller forward. It looks as though Celtic are going to play with Miller and Craney up front. Coyne perhaps withdrawing to a midfield role to make up for the absence of Grant.
I think Peter Grant was just a wee bit anxious that Rangers might score off the free kick that he gave away in the edge of the box, and that was possibly why he reacted so quickly to charging it.
Harlott lofts it forward. Dub check with Houstra. There is Hateley, and the clearance came from White. Monroe playing it in. Dub check remaining very cool inside his own penalty box in these torrid circumstances. Well, if you've just joined us, Celtic lead by 2-0. We're 11 or 12 minutes into the second half. Peter Grant has been ordered off, and Trevor Steven was carried off inside the first 15 minutes. So there's been no lack of incident or action in this match. There's the scoreline confirming the goal scored by Jerry Craney and Darius Dubček for Celtic in the first half.
That was a wee bit harsh decision, Joe. Rangers have suffered with injuries on the day that they've lost Nigel Spackman, Trevor Steven early, Alan McCoist. Seems as if he's probably got an injury, and it hasn't helped. And I don't think that Ian Ferguson is back to full fitness yet, or in fact Stuart Monroe. So Rangers have been forced to make changes where perhaps they didn't want to.
Stuart Monroe, in fact, played his last first-team game on the 5th of January, so he's had a long layoff. Harlott plays it back. This is Nisbet. Derek White's clearance. Well, the pattern of the game has undoubtedly been changed by that ordering off for Peter Grant. Rogan lofting it forward. And Woods in two minds there. Out of his penalty area. Looked as though he was going to lash the ball clear and then tried to control it. Good play by Miller. He's been fouled, and that's a free kick to Celtic. Well, in ordinary circumstances, Celtic may have preferred the advantage rule, but with only Tommy Coyne inside the penalty box, I reckon he'll settle for that free kick. So, a chance for Paul Elliott to come forward again. This time Derek White has decided to stay back on the halfway line. Miller plays it in. Up goes Craney! That was a magnificent chance for Celtic. Well, Jerry Craney, I reckon, when he sees it again, will consider he should have hit the target with this. No challenge to him as he made the header. Elliott again so commanding in the air against even the prowess of Hateley in that department. Stevens stopped there by McStay. This is Collins. Back it goes to Bonner. Well, Celtic also have the possibility of bringing Mark McNally on to play in exactly the same role which Grant was occupying, perhaps at the expense of a striker. It will be interesting to see how Billy McNeill and Tommy Craig sort this out.
The Celtic will be looking to the likes of Paul McStay and John Collins to put a foot in the ball and try and soak up the minutes and put the match finally beyond Rangers. But Rangers, well, the incident with
well, a little exchange of pleasantries there involving Ian Ferguson, Maurice Johnston and Paul McStay. McStay certainly was firm on that tackle on Johnston after the free kick had been given.
It's difficult to keep track here. These the tackles flying in here. Incident-packed game.
The Celtic free kick is taken there by Dubček. Coyne going up with Nisbet. Joe Miller, back it goes to Dubček again. And Celtic appear to have switched also to an orthodox flat back four.
Yeah, and it looks as if they're still keeping the front three. It's a very brave move by the Celtic management.
Well, with Walters and Houstra looking to push forward to attacking positions, Dubček has moved to right back to mark Houstra. Here's Walters now with a chance, and Rogan kept his eye on the ball and managed to avoid a corner kick. That was good play by Rogan. Walters thought he had a corner kick. He's been corrected by the linesman. So Gary Stevens has a chance for this long throw. Hateley coming across to provide a target. Turned away there by Elliott, off Hateley. So a goal kick to Celtic. Well, very interesting tactically now with Celtic switching to that back four. Dubček doing so well as sweeper in the first half, but now at right back with Elliott, White and Rogan in the back four. McStay and Collins in the middle there with that front three. It is indeed very brave, Alec.
Yes, John Collins and Paul McStay are stuck firmly right in the middle of the pitch. There's no width at all, and you would think Rangers would probably try and, if they're going to get any joy, try and get people down the flanks.
Well, perhaps that's why Celtic have pushed Rogan and Dubček back to full-back to look after Walters and Houstra. Johnston has been withdrawn rather by Rangers to play just behind what is now a front three of Walters, Hateley and Houstra. So Johnston were looking to make an impact in the match on that withdrawn role. Once again, Tommy Coyne causing some difficulties there for Richard Gough in the air, just as he did when he set up the opening goal for Jerry Craney. Elliott will not be denied in the air for Celtic. And there's a backlash by Hurlock. Hurlock's in trouble. He's clearly going to be ordered off. There can be no other outcome. He lashed out there after the ball had gone. And Terry Hurlock looking there. It's the right hand pocket. It's a red card for Terry Hurlock. The victim was Tommy Coyne. An act of complete folly by Hurlock, right in front of the referee's eyes. And Terry Hurlock makes the long, lonely walk to the dressing room, going past the Rangers dugout there. Walter Smith gazes out without making any reference to Hurlock. So here was Hurlock, The challenge came in from Coyne. Hurlock didn't appreciate it, and then you'll see him lashing out there with the right arm. That's why he was ordered off, and really, I think the referee had no option at all.
No, I don't think he had any option. A bit of a crazy thing to do for Terry. I mean, I've been saying about him in recent weeks that if he takes a knock, he just gets up and gets home. But he reacted badly there, and possibly just the way the game's gone against Rangers, that's why he did react the way he did.
Well, now it's Walter Smith's turn to be on his feet there on the track. He's going to have to adjust further the Rangers' tactics. And what he has done is pull Maurice Johnston back right into midfield. He's beside Ian Ferguson now, and the role vacated by Terry Hurlock. So Johnston playing even deeper now for Rangers. Good layoff there from Maitland. Here's Walters trying to set himself for a shot. It's fine play by Walters. And Bonner on his 6-yard line to cut down the angle. Well, Walters certainly was patient. He was skillful, looking up there and hitting that quite firmly, but Bonner cut down the angle to make it look easy.
Rangers are going to need more inspirational stuff from Mark Walters if they're going to get anything from the game. They're running out of time, and it's getting beyond them at this stage.
Well, that ordering off coming 18 minutes into the second half, evening things out. There's Johnston. That's a good pass for Stevens. A long ball through the middle. Bonner well off his line. Well, there's been so much action in this Old Firm game. It's hard to imagine what it would be like if Rangers were able to get a goal back and set up a really titanic finish. It really would be a sight to behold. But Celtic determined to avoid that. They are digging in very hard indeed. They were clearly concerned about the fact that they lost Peter Grant all and off. Now they have the problem to some extent solved by the departure of Terry Hurlock. It's turned back there by Craney and kept in by Bonner.
There were two sendings off, but they weren't really terrible tackles by anyone. I mean, Terry Hurlock was a bit foolish in lashing out at Tommy Coyne. And Peter Grant, I felt, was for a bit of overzealousness.
10 against 10 should leave a little bit extra room on the field, but such is the commitment of these players that it's still very difficult for anyone to find space to pull the ball down and make a pass. Richard Goff's been penalised this time for the foul in the air on Tommy Coyne, and I wonder if that is Dobchek fancies his chances once again.
Well, it's certainly within his range, Jock, and they're probably round about the same distance when he scored his first half rocket.
Just about 30 yards. Rangers showing some respect with 3 in the wall. Dobchek again. This time it's blocked well by Goff. Miller battling with Houstra. Here's Paul McStay. Well tackled by Houstra. Now Miller. Fine play from McStay, and that pass would have been troublesome for Rangers but for Monroe's alertness. Walters is away from Dobchek, now facing Paul Elliott, and Dobchek did extremely well. Showing a good turn of pace there, the Polish international.
Yeah, Paul Elliott slowed Mark Walters up, and it gave Dobchek a chance to get back at him.
Corner kick to be taken once the Celtic players withdraw far enough. Headed away well by Rogan, straight to Ian Ferguson. Goff hitting it wide for Nisbet. He started his career at Ibrox as a striker, so he's not unaccustomed to being in that kind of position. Nisbet playing it across, the layoff from Johnston. There's Ferguson making that roll too obvious, allowing Joe Miller to intercept. The tackle from Haustra. Miller thought he was fouled there by Haustra. So he'll leave that throw to Dubček. Past the three-quarter mark in the match. Celtic settled on this 2-goal lead, but Rangers still batting on in determined fashion. The long ball would have caused problems had Monroe been able to give some air to that ball. He could have found Mark Hateley in space going through the inside right position.
And Mark Hateley pulls off his defenders very well away to the back post area, and if that ball had been delivered by Stuart Monroe, then he might have found himself in the clear.
Well controlled by Craney, and the tackle from Nisbet was a very effective one. This is McStay and Rogan. Collins to Rogan. Well, this is good play from Celtic in the circumstances, keeping the ball very well indeed. Collins caught late by Stevens. There's Rogan with a cross. Fine handling by Woods. The referee having a gentle word there with Gary Stevens off the ball in view of the tackle late on Collins. A good use of the advantage rule though by the referee. Hateley coming back to challenge Collins. Walter Smith has left the Rangers dugout and may well be going up to have some discussions with Graham Souness. Here's Haustra. Good play by Haustra, tackled by Elliott. Trying to find a way through that ruck of Celtic players. It's a cross from Ferguson to Stevens. Here's Walters. That's for Hateley. Elliott is there again. This is Ian Ferguson. That was well struck and blocked by Elliott. Elliott took the full force of that volley from Ian Ferguson. He's still on the ground as Miller breaks for Celtic. Taking on Stuart Monroe, he may try to go all the way on his own. And the pass going behind Tommy Coyne. Paul Elliott is still on the ground, feeling the effects of that shot from Ian Ferguson. And that means, of course, there can be no offside. He's still there as Dubček thumps the ball out of play, and that will allow treatment for Elliott. Well, Elliott's contribution there defensively was so important, but there appears to be blood coming from his face. He's taken that straight in the face, that shot from Ferguson, and just look at the blood there from the mouth. Well, he won a very important cross from Walters in the first instance, then threw himself in front of Ferguson's shot, and there's the damage which has been inflicted. What a tower of strength he's been, Alec.
Yeah, he took a thunderous whack in the chest there, or just in the face there. He's got a bit of blood coming from his lips there. Yeah, it was a thunderous hit by Ian Ferguson. It looked as if it was going to trouble Pat Bonner at any rate. It was on target, but it hit Paul Elliott full in the chest.
Well, Paul Elliott celebrates his 27th birthday tomorrow, and it looks as though it may involve a trip to the dentist. With a look at that damage. And Ian Ferguson, who celebrated his 24th birthday on Friday, showing once again his incredible shooting power. It's not been the easiest of matches for Ferguson so far, coming back after a long spell of injury. Now, it would be very sad for Celtic if they had to do without Paul Elliott, but he's clearly in a substantial degree of distress. And I wonder if he was in fact winded for that shot in the chest, and perhaps took the face injury in the earlier aerial challenge. And he is going to leave the field now. Billy McNeil on his feet. Well, it's a very sad sight for Celtic. He has been absolutely outstanding throughout the match for Celtic. And Mark McNally, I think, will have to come on this time. And that will mean, I think, Darius Dubček going to centre back. Elliott complaining, I think. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave the field. The doctor is there with Brian Scott, the physio. Still a lot of discussion going on about whether a change can be made as Ian Ferguson shoots again. And it's turned past by Pat Bonner. No, the referee says it's a goal kick. It wasn't saved by Bonner. So here's Johnston playing the ball across for Ferguson. Shooting the ball there, and Bonner at full stretch. I thought initially he'd got a fingertip to the ball. So changes now being made. Stuart Munro is going off. And on comes Tom Cowan, but Paul Elliott has returned to the fray. Well, he's had a change of jersey. Tom Cowan has come on in the midst of all that to replace Stuart Munro, who may be labouring just a little after the long layoff. So there's the change for Rangers. The second substitute committed. Paul Elliott has insisted on returning to the fray. There's Cowan, former Clyde player, cost £100,000, the youngster. On at left back for Rangers. Stevens with the header. There's Logan forward. Now Trainee. Through the gap it goes for Tommy Coyne. Nisbet was quick and alert. Good play by Nisbet.
I think it was just an oil change. Paul Elliott went off over there. I think you'd have to shoot the big man to get him off this park today.
And no way inhibited, and he goes for that high ball with Hateley. Neat play from Johnston. There's Rogan. Coyne stepping away from Stevens. Miscue there by Collins. Houstra has Walters over on the right, but Derek White is quick enough to turn that back.
The Celtic defence looks sure-footed today. They've been criticised this season, but they just look as if they've been playing together for a number of years. Very solid, good understanding. Of course, match up with big Paul Elliott.
Cowan turns it back to Chris Woods. Well, one thing that is remarkable is that Chris Woods really hasn't had a great deal to do by way of making saves, although Celtic lead by 2-0.
That's right. He's been beaten by 2 fantastic goals.
Mark Hateley's in trouble now for Rangers. For persistent infringements, he is being booked. And Mark Hateley saying, "You come to me if you want." And he may be in serious trouble here if he persists with this show of defiance. There's going to be a yellow card for persistent fouling as he's challenged Paul Elliott in the air. Players, I think, always very ill at ease when they're summoned to a referee from a long distance, and that was what Mark Hateley was indicating, I think. That is an element of frustration, Alec, for professional players.
Yeah, yes, I think we've all been through that at one time or another. I've been guilty of it myself, falling foul of the referee with a few harsh words. But see here at the moment, that's the way the game goes.
There's the elbow used by Hateley, which certainly appeared to be a foul, and because it was by no means his first, he's been booked. A wrestling match there involving Coyne and Stevens. Walters thumps the ball against Tommy Coyne, and referee Andrew Wardle being forced to call upon all his experience now to handle what has turned out to be an incident-packed match. Well, the Celtic bench will be concerned, I think, simply to retain this lead till the end. They have 13 minutes plus stoppage time to survive if they're to knock Rangers out of the cup. Paul McStay over the free kick. He's in no particular hurry. Playing it up the line to Rogan. There's McStay taken out of the play by Johnston. Well, that would certainly incense the Celtic supporters. The former Celtic player, Maurice Johnston, going in heavily on McStay. There's a little feeling out there in the field involving Johnston and Paul McStay. A few words being exchanged there also. Great dummy there by Coyne. Here's Trainee. Coyne is onside. I think he was hoping there for a corner kick. Not taking the ball to the corner flag in this torrid atmosphere really is taking your life in your hands. Coyne has survived though, as Celtic have the throw. The ball was carried over there by Collins. That's why it's a goal kick to Rangers. Oh, with time running out, Alec, can Rangers do anything about this now?
It looks beyond them. I felt that Celtic, the way they started the game, it looked beyond Rangers even at that early stage. But Celtic, a couple of silly things just creeping into the game at the moment, Joe. Tempo's getting a wee bit frayed. A couple of late tackles off the ball.
Mark Walters is in trouble. It could be very serious indeed. He made one very rash tackle a moment before. The referee allowed Celtic the advantage rule, but after the ball had gone, Walters clashed again with Tommy Coyne, and he too has been ordered off. Sheer mayhem here at Celtic Park as Walters follows Terry Harlock and Peter Grant up the tunnel, and we'll see why from this incident here. There was the initial clash, Walters and Tommy Coyne. Now Walters got away with that, but that was the second attempt. Now the incident was not yet over. It was after that Walters continued the chase on Coyne and committed the offence, which resulted in the ordering off. So here was the chase. Walters continued there. There was Tommy Coyne, and there was the elbow and the collision there, which resulted in Walters' dismissal. Well, he certainly didn't make the task too difficult for referee Waddle with that act of folly. So it's 10 for Celtic against 9 for Rangers. It's 2-0 to Celtic, and time is rapidly running out. Richard Gough is pushed forward to join the attack. It's all or nothing now for Rangers. Houstra plays that to the near post, but it's stopped by Bonner.
Yeah, as I said, I felt there was a couple of silly things creeping into the Rangers players' play. Matt Walters, just before that incident, had kicked the ball off Tommy Coyne's legs out the far touchline. And okay, they're frustrated, they're 2 goals down, but they've got to learn to keep their head. And experienced players like Mark Walters should know that, especially players like him.
That was Ian Ferguson going in heavily on Paul McStay. And the Celtic supporters in the stand reacting towards Graham Souness in the director's box. With every Rangers tackle, Graham Souness is certainly having a message conveyed to him by these Celtic supporters as Craney tries to break. Well, Graham Souness chewing his gum there, looking very solemn as you would expect. In a very unhappy Scottish Cup occasion once again for the Rangers manager. And there's more trouble over on the far side. Now what's going on here? The linesman is involved. Anton Rogan clutching his face. Mark Catley was in the vicinity, and the linesman George Kerr is now explaining to referee Waddle what happened. Now Mark Catley has already been booked. Richard Gough is across, so is Paul Elliott. Rogan is going to be booked for his part, but it looks as though Mark Catley is going to be ordered off. If he's called across at all, and if he's involved, he can only be shown one colour of card. He's been called back by Andrew Waddle, so it's a booking. Is it, or is it a red card for both? A yellow it is for Rogan, and it's a red for Catley. The long walk for Mark Catley. He lost his head without question as the game wore on, and the inevitable result is an early bath for the England international. So now it is 10 against 8. Rangers with 3 men ordered off for an off-the-ball incident there. Mark Catley clashing with Anton Rogan after the ball had gone, right in front of the eyes of linesman George Kerr from Larbert. And referee Waddle left with no option at all once again. And Rangers clearly now have completely lost their heads. It's a real tragedy for the game, there's no question about that. The fact that things have developed as they have. The tension's running so high in a match of this intensity, and Rangers clearly with that 2-goal deficit and things not going their way, beginning to lose their heads. There's Coyne playing it forward. Over on the near side, here is Joe Miller taking on Tom Cowan. Cowan was quick enough. Well, the big hope now, Alec, really is that we can get to the end without any more trouble on the field.
Yeah, well, there's been 4 sendings off, but I don't think any of them have been for particularly bad fouls, or it's not been a dirty game. It's just been petty, silly things, and probably from players who should probably know better.
Well, Peter Housetrott replaced Trevor Stephen early in the match, but he's had very few chances to demonstrate his skills. So much has been the dominance of Celtic at the key phases of the match. Backing in by Craney on Goff. Here's Ian Ferguson. And I hate to introduce one other point to these proceedings. These sides meet again 1 week from today in a league match. And of course there will be suspensions affecting all the players ordered off this afternoon. Well, it is also quite remarkable the fact that among the Rangers players, all 3 who've ordered off are Englishmen. So they've been introduced to this torrid Scottish occasion, and the result has been that they have become so embroiled in everything that they've finished up being ordered off. Well, that's good play by Miller, taking the ball for a stroll now, rather. Brought down there by Houstra and Cowan. So a sea of Celtic scarves behind Chris Woods now. Well, these Celtic supporters showing the scarves there. They're clearly satisfied now that Celtic are going to go through to the semi-final. So 4.5 minutes left for play, plus any stoppage time, which referee Andrew Waddle feels inclined to add. I have the feeling too that there won't be too much demand on the part of the Rangers players for that to continue when the deficit is 2 and not 1. Trying to be easy from the Celtic supporters as Rogan plays it forward. There's Gary Stevens. It's controlled well by Goff. Now John Collins. This is Coyne. Rogan. Coyne forward for Collins. Across goes Richard Goff. Tackle came from Collins. Well, the chanting and the singing and the cheering coming from these Celtic supporters inside the 53,000 crowd. And once again, it looks as though the Rangers Scottish Cup jinx continues. They last won the Cup 10 years ago in a replay against Dundee United. The longest barren spell, though, of Scottish Cup failure was way back early in the century when they went 15 years without winning the Cup. Looks as though it's going to be at least 11 now, unless they can produce a miracle with their remaining 8 players against the 10 of Celtic.
Well, Joe Kerr criticised the players earlier on for getting a bit het up in this atmosphere, but then again, I've never played in an Old Firm game, and the tensions are extremely high, and the stakes are also high.
This is Rogan. Now Collins. Back with Derek White. The offside flag stays down. Here's a great chance for Craney to make it 3. Holds his head in anguish. Chances don't come any better than that in Old Firm matches. Well, this would have set the seal on an excellent performance from Celtic and from Jerry Craney. He was onside here. He collected that. Played the ball wide of Woods and wide of the post.
Yeah, just bobbled a wee bit at the last minute for Jerry Craney there, and just as he was about to shoot, just took a wee bobble and it made it play wide.
There's Cowan with Miller. It's back with Richard Goff. He's tried very hard, it's fair to say, as the Rangers captain, to keep things under control. Nisbet has to play it back to Woods. Bit of elbowing there by Haustra while the ball was in the air. So it's calmly retained by Derek White and back to Bonner. Here's Rogan. A long way back to Bonner. It's only a question now for Celtic of seeing out time safely. 1 minute plus stoppage time to go. Goff's header. Craney was the culprit there, barging there between Goff and Nisbet. So Cowan giving the free kick to Richard Goff. Well, Andrew Waddle didn't reckon with this. His first Old Firm match, he's ordered off 4 players. The first, perhaps the most controversial. That was Peter Grant. The second offence in charging a free kick before it was taken. Then an easier task for Hurlock, had a swipe at Coyne off the ball, and Mark Walters lost the head too with Tommy Coyne, and ending there with Hafley clashing with Rogan. Here's Dubček. And Craney trying to direct the header on target there in front of goal. But the happier aspect of the match has been the play of Celtic, especially in that first half when they scored through Jerry Craney and then Darius Dubček. The task in defence for Celtic now looks to be easy with Rangers so depleted. Well, Paul Lane has survived right to the end despite a heavy injury.
It was a brilliant start by Celtic to the match that set the tone for the game as far as their performance is concerned. A super little goal by Jerry Craney, and from then on it was going to be Celtic's day.
Well, there will be a man of the match award, and it will be very difficult to see past Paul Elliott. Well, there are a number of contenders, and this afternoon it turns out all wearing green and white, I reckon.
Yeah, well, I don't think you can really fault any of the Celtic players' performances today. And you could have picked maybe any one from about, well, in fact, the whole 11. Apart from Big Packy, he's not had much to do.
Ian Ferguson getting a word from referee Waddle for that tackle on Miller. Celtic retained possession. There's Rogan. Good running by Collins. Across goes Nisbet. Well judged tackle. He wants to throw, but he's not going to get it, Nisbet. Nisbet too has lost his head, it would appear. There's protests there towards the referee, resulting now in a booking. Gary Stevens too showing his frustration. In the meantime, the Celtic players can look on calmly. They're surely now through to the semi-final of the Cup. It's Rangers who have had all the problems this afternoon. Problems in terms of matching the Celtic play, problems in terms of discipline. Celtic now still retaining possession as they probe for a third. Here's Dubček. Turned back by Collins and cleared by Stevens. Now Rogan. Still Rogan. Well, not quite what Tommy Coyne intended. Breaks off his head for the goal kick. So there was Rogan's shot, deflected by Coyne, wide of the target. Well, the referee now has allowed almost 3 minutes of injury time. There's certainly been plenty of that too in the second half, a lot of stoppages. It has been by no means a classic football occasion, although Celtic went about the task in the first half extremely well with a committed, fast approach, which won the game in the end. There's the final whistle.
training in 6 minutes. Darius Dovcek in 37. And Billy McNeil is talking to Rob McLean.
Billy, that was an amazing game. Well, we felt before it, Rob, if we were allowed to play football, then we would win. We did play football and we did win. The most important aspect about it, that's not to be forgotten, is that we played the football here today. We were entitled to win, and we never lost our composure, which was more important.
The draw for the semi-finals is tomorrow. Celtic lost out on penalties last season. Is this the season in the cup for Celtic?
Well, we're certainly in the semi-final. We're delighted for that. This was a big obstacle. We came through it with some ease, and I'm absolutely delighted. My players deserve every credit and every praise for the performance today.
A happy St. Patrick's Day for Celtic.
Certainly is, certainly is.
Well done, thanks very much.
Thank you, thank you.
So at the end of a torrid 90 minutes of Scottish Cup tie action, at Celtic who go through by 2-0. But I would have to say that this was not the kind of cup tie that anyone would want to see. A total of 4 orderings off. There were some fairly ugly scenes both on and off the pitch. There will clearly be repercussions. I think the SFA will obviously want to look at various aspects of the game, and I think it's taken an awful lot of the gloss off a very good Celtic performance, Murdo.
Yeah, I think first half they were so good, well on top, played great. Second half there's so many incidents on the park off the ball, which was very disappointing. You know, if you've got to take your grievance out against a player, wait till he's got the ball, go and win the ball fairly. But I think everything off the ball just spoiled the game today.
David, you've played in so many of these games, as has Murdo. It is easy to become caught up in the tension, but you can't really justify some of what we saw this afternoon.
No, I think it was disgraceful the second half, both sides. I think, to me, the referee didn't have control of the game at any part of it, right from the start. But that's no excuse for the behaviour that went on during the game. And I think all the ordering offs were really justified in the end. There's nothing else he could do.
Murdo, obviously Andrew Waddell's handling of the game will be the subject of a lot of discussion. As Davey says, the orderings off were justified, but before that, would you have any criticism of him?
Yeah, I think probably it was a build-up of things. He gradually lost the game a wee bit. I think it wasn't just at one particular incident, it was a few incidents that built up, and the first ordering off, the second one shortly after it, and the last 15 minutes, you know, players were getting away with what they wanted to get away with.
That's right. It's difficult to look for good things in the second half, David, because really the whole atmosphere turned really quite ugly. But there was some skill on display, but Rangers never really looked as if they were going to come back into the tie, did they?
No, I think when Terry Hurlock gets sent off, they had the extra man at that time and they were looking to get a goal then. He got ordered off and their hopes, I think, faded then. Mark Walters early on in the second half got a couple of balls across, but they never really looked like getting back into the game. I think Rangers lost the game today in the first 15 minutes. They didn't seem to have the appetite that Celtic had, and the result justified in the end, I think.
Celtic obviously will take all the plaudits for the way they approached the game, particularly, Murdo, I think.
Yeah, I think this game will be remembered for the first half. The way they played, it was even Stevens, but the way Celtic played, they applied themselves right from the start. They got their goals there, the first goal very early, second one just before half-time, killed off Rangers completely. But as you said, Dougie, the second half, there's no real highlights in it, football-wise.
What about the repercussions, Davey? I mean, I would imagine, and I'm obviously guessing here, that the SFA might want to take a look at some of the incidents. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they possibly will. As I say, when it comes down to the off-the-ball incidents, it's very serious. They'll have to take a look at that. Fouls and things that go on are just part of the game, but the off-the-ball stuff can have something to do with what happens on the terrace, and they really can't have that.
Again, it's the old firm, it's the unique tension of the old firm, Murdo, and little personal niggles can very easy build up into the sort of thing we saw today, can't they?
Yeah, I think with the way the seasons went for Celtic this year, it's been disappointing in the league. Rangers have been so far in front, and obviously Rangers were out to win the Scottish Cup for the first time for a long while. Celtic, it's the only thing they've got left in the season, so obviously the players are really keyed up today. You know, there's been a big build-up for it since the draw was made. It's not like a normal league game comes along and you've only got 3 or 4 days talking about it. The cup game today was so highlighted so much for the last few weeks, and I think its second half showed all the pressure today.
Well, there we are then. We're coming towards the end of our time. Thanks very much indeed to you, Murdo, and to you, Davey, for joining us this afternoon. It's been a Scottish Cup quarter-final tie, which gave us some very good football in the first half. We enjoyed that. I must say that the second half there was very little to enjoy, and a lot of scenes which will be discussed and talked about for some time to come. But at the end of it all, it is Celtic who win by 2-0, and they go that little step further on the road to Hampden. From all of us at Celtic Park, Goodbye.
This is BBC Scotland on One. Now we catch up the week's events in Albert Square with the omnibus edition of EastEnders.
Be a body, could it? All chopped up. It'll be yours if you don't shut up.
Right, I am going to start counting.
I'll get rid of her, will you?
Ron, did you hear me?
Look, Sharon, we got urgent business on.
Oh, yeah, with who?
It's just me, Phil and Ricky.
Yes.
Go on, tell her. It's right, Sharon. We've got bags of work on. Just leave us, will you?
You've got a lot of explaining to do, Grant.
Look, Sharon, I'm sorry. What more can I say?
You just said it all.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, well, maybe tomorrow I won't want to listen. Good night.
Right. What we got here, then?
Couldn't get to see him, could I? Urgent job on behind locked doors.
Oh, yeah.
They got something dodgy going on.
I bet you could do with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So did he say anything about the car?
Didn't get round to it. Phil just told me to shove off. Well, they've got Ricky in there, though, so I don't think they're having an orgy. What's that?
What's that?
Look at me.
Oh, it's bike trouble.
I pushed it all the way from Bow. Who needs it, eh?
Join the club.
It's naff, it's knackered, and I want a new one.
How much do you reckon? Could be $500,000. Yep. And all of it schneid.
Red old and golden ring. And really I am. What's going on here?
Look, I had a row with Etta. That's all I want to say, okay?